What is up, home dog millionaires? Today's deadlift day. The line at Duncan was all the way out to the road, and it was starting to bend around the road. And I'm not about that life. I'm not that desperate. If you're getting in that line, you're essentially a crack addict who's willing to suck some dude's dick for coffee. So I went to Aroma Joe's, right? Got a wicked mudslide. Funny thing. I once dated a barista at Aroma Joe's, and she said try the wicked mudslide because I had no idea what the menu at Aroma Joe's was like, and I was just bouncing around. Yeah, I haven't gotten anything since. It's actually pretty good, pretty tasty. I did, however, forget my water, so I'm gonna have to down this bad boy before I can refill it with water and stay hydrated. Because hydration is key. And today is a 5th set AMRAP deadlift day at, I think it's 550, 555, one of those two. Should be a pretty good day, 4x2 plus AMRAP. I'll see you later, I guess. Yeah. right, so that went pretty well, given the headspace that I was in. I wasn't in the best mental capacity today, but leave all your troubles at the gym door and things will still go pretty well. I wanted 10 on that AMRAP, but I only got 9, but it's still a PR, Greg Penora's best ever was 560 for 9, so I'm 10 pounds away from that. But here's where the difficult thing comes in. So touch and go on deadlifts is more difficult on the grip, and my grip is my weakness. It's my Achilles heel. It's the Patrick's grip, Achilles heel, same thing. But resetting after every rep imitates more competition lifts, and it's got more specificity. It's more specialized towards competition deadlifting. So it's like, what do you want to kind of address in this? So I don't know. I don't know, because grip weak, competition important. I'm at Market Basket, Demoulas, after deadlifting, because it is time to meal prep for the rest of the week. I weighed in at 370 last week, and then I weighed in at 363 this morning. I might have to bring the belt in one notch, because I've actually been eating like a lifter instead of eating like a jackass. Yeah, but weekends are definitely the hardest time to maintain the diet, because I'm not as well scheduled, I'm not as well regimented on the weekends. I wake up whenever I feel like it. I don't set an alarm. I go to sleep whenever I feel like it. I don't have a bedtime. I'm an adult. I don't have a bedtime. So I don't exactly have the regimented, like, I'm here now. I need, because when I'm at work, I wake up at 4:15. I have my first meal on my hour-and-a-half drive to work. I'll eat about 2.5 to 3 hours after I get to work, and then 2.5 to 3 hours until I leave work. And then I get home, I eat a meal, I eat another meal, or I eat a meal, and then I have a nighttime protein shake before bed, and then just start over again. So I'm very well regimented there. I'm getting about 6,000 calories, which is, I could go for about 2,000 calories, but it's, I'm trying to get into the routine right now. I'm in the off season, so any sort of weight loss now, it's gonna come back during peak because of load management, water retention, stuff like that. So as long as I stick to the diet, should be pretty good. Get rid of any sort of fatty liver going on. So I put spinach in my rice this week, and I froze my meals, and I thawed them in the microwave when I was about to eat them. And spinach is spinach. It was not good. And Stan Efferding suggested for Hathor Bjorsen to add a little bit of like imitation sugar through dextrose. I couldn't find dextrose, so I've got stevia that I add to my rice, but I over sweetened it, so it was like, I'm trying to eat my beef, so I might reduce the amount of I'm gonna reduce the amount of imitation sugar that I use. I might reduce the amount of rice that I'll be consuming. I might actually replace some of the rice with potatoes. So last week I had 1.5 pounds of baby potatoes. I cut them and I quartered them and cooked them in butter, and those are pretty good. So what I might do, I need to incorporate more eggs into my diet. So I'm thinking So what I have been doing is I'll have a protein shake with an egg, or not egg, I'll have my Mass Gainer MRE protein shake on my way into work, and that's a Mass Gainer, and I'll have it with like an apple and a banana. And then when I get to work, I'll have my first beef and rice with a little bit of potato. And then second meal at work is usually yogurt. Third meal is beef and rice again. Fourth meal is more fruit. But I feel like I need more eggs, because eggs are high in biotin. They got K2, they got collagen, all good things for recovery, and I need more of that stuff going on in my diet. So I need to figure out how to freeze eggs, because I'll be meal prepping them for the week, 4 days, because I do 4 10-hour days, summer hours, pain in the tuchus. So I need 4 days worth of eggs, probably 24 eggs. Probably pair it with, like, I don't want to pair it with bacon. I don't want to pair it with, I'll also figure out what to pair it with. Some sort of meat, something to like break up the monotony of just eggs. I could do like pita pockets. I don't know. Do a first meal like that, and then, because eggs don't sit that heavy. And then we got the beef with rice. Yeah. So I just need to plan out a little bit more. I'm at the store right now. I'm gonna figure out this egg thing. I'm gonna increase my potato intake because the reason I put the spinach in my rice was because spinach is actually very potassium dense. Both spinach and potatoes are potassium dense. Provide more potassium than bananas. So I think I'm replacing the spinach with more potatoes. I use MyFitnessPal, not as like a meal tracker, but more like a meal planner. Once I have this figured out, I'm gonna see you guys in the grocery store. Demola's Market Basket. It'll be a real good time. All right, so yeah, no videos in the store. It's a Sunday at a Market Basket with no football on, so a little busy. I apologize for no money shots of my food going in a cart, but I drove out to Guilford, I think, Guilford, Laconia, and hit it up you can't see their sign, the Wine and Butcher. Because I liked my dinners. I like them a little higher quality than the slop that I eat all day. So I picked up 1.5 pounds of Grillmaster steak tips and 1.25 pounds of maple bourbon steak tips. So tomorrow and the day after, the wife and I will be splitting those. So it will likely be that I get the majority. I'm a little bigger and she will fight me on that. Throws hands like a convict and she's like a ravenous dog, feral kitty. I don't know. But gotta go home, gotta meal prep. I usually get hamburger buns and tater tots because I end up using all the burners on the stove, and I'm making hamburger patties, so might as well just throw a couple of those on buns and have hamburgers and tater tots for dinner. The wife loves it. It's very regimented. It's actually pretty good. Healthy. I can't really say that tater tots are healthy, but potato. I'm a potato. You are what you eat. I am a potato. So I got that going for me. So I'll meet you guys at home where I will start meal prepping. I will figure out how to set that up. What's up, Mr. Squirrel? You having a good snack? Is that a tasty snack? Oh. You having a good snack, Mr. Squirrel? 1, 2, 3. 3 bags of potatoes. No. I still gotta eat potatoes. Orange juice. I do not appreciate potatoes. No. Potatoes are all mine. 2 orange juices, huh? Yes. No. 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 4 bananas. 3 apples. 5 pounds of beef. 93%. Potato tots or potato puffs. Potato puffs. You're not nice. What'd you do? She showed me her boobies. Well, Schrodinger's nipple. If you can't see it, does it exist? No. Yes. Maybe. Did you say you're a lady?
I'm a lady. I'm a respectable lady, sir.
Okay. Respectable, yes. Lady. That's the debatable part.
That's more about me than it's about me.
Does it? Butter. Deluxe cheese hamburgers tonight. Corned beef hash. We'll see how that goes. Work ketchup. Frozen blueberries and raspberries and pineapple and bananas. Frozen passion fruit, mangoes, blueberries, and bananas. And then we got cheddar and cheddar jack. Berries go in the freezer. Those are for my yogurt.
Got nothing to say.
My mom took the food processor back. I don't think we have a blender. take the extremely large Tupperware that I stole from my parents, because what are parents good for except for sealing objects that they don't miss, like laundry detergent and dish detergent. So I stole this massive Tupperware like 3 weeks ago because it's big enough to fit 5 pounds of meat in and actually hold it while I do stuff to it. We got 4 1.25 pound things of 93% beef. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for every pound of meat, you want an egg. So it's gonna be 5 eggs. And since I'm a boss, I'm gonna flex on these hoes by doing it with one hand. Flawless, like a boss. So right now, I'm gonna preheat my pan, because you don't want to cook on a cold pan. I'm gonna overheat it and then adjust it when I put things on. So we got 5 pounds of meat, 5 eggs. Gonna add some salt, pepper, ground ginger, just to help aid in the digestion. This one. Italian style breadcrumbs. And some Worcestershire sauce. I don't want to add too much of this because it will overpower everything aggressively. Normally I put barbecue sauce in it too, but I don't have any right now. It would have helped if I went to the store earlier today, which I did. So next, before we handle the meat, we have to break up the eggs a little bit. So we're going to be using a fork. Break up the eggs, kind of beat them, spread the meat out a little bit. Actually, I'm going to throw some ketchup in there, which is the key ingredient of meatloaf. It's ketchup. And this is oil free. It's French's. It's got tomato concentrate, sugar, vinegar, salt, onion powder, and spices. So we'll give it a nice texture, because I like my burgers falling apart. It makes it a little easier to eat quickly when you're eating it with a fork and rice. We got the basic mix-up going. Now this is a trick that Brian Shaw showed in one of his videos. Is you take the top of a protein container, so like this is actually a lid of a different color, and you take press and seal, and you press and seal the lid. And then you just fold the sides over, making sure you got nice tight edges, because this actually ends up approximating all of your patties at 6 ounces pretty accurately. I don't have a food scale, so I can't actually confirm. Alright, so we're going to take 2 plates, because it's a bit of beef. And we're going to finish mixing this up with our hands. We just needed to break down the eggs with the fork, but you can't really mix it well without your hands. if you're a pussy, you wear gloves. But since we're real men and ladies, mostly real men, we use our hands, also because we're uncivilized. So what you do is fold it over on itself, make sure all the spices get well mixed, get a nice fisting in. Fisting's pretty nice. You can get a lot of places with a nice fisting. Make sure that you flip it over and then spread so you can fist better. Alright, now it's a well combined cohesive blob of meat, kind of like me. Alright, so what you do is you take a handful of meat, you press it into your lid, and then you shave off the edges. And since it's a press and seal, it kind of just pops out. There you go. And we're going to repeat that with all 5 pounds. Alexa, how many ounces are in a pound?
1 pound is 16 ounces.
Alright, so every 3 patties is 18 ounces, so we're going to get about less, we're going to get less than 15 patties, which is good because we're splitting it between 8. We don't want to have 12 ounces per container. There's 5 patties, so about a third of the way through. 6 patties. So I remember back in high school, back when I was on the football team, I was flabbergasted at how good my elbows looked, which was kind of something weird to be proud about. I used to say Maguire has the sexiest elbows this side of Hampton, which is, I mean, look at those. About halfway through. I only recognize that because just checking myself out in the camera, it's kind of weird. I don't necessarily like talking to myself, so it's a bit of a lifestyle change. Not a lifestyle change, kind of like a, it's not the same as like presenting in front of the classroom. But it's like you're basically just talking to the mirror the whole time with no response. But you also have other people in the room, and it's kind of awkward. So it's something to get used to. It's not exactly the most natural thing. Hashtag natty life. Hey Pumpkin, can you do me a favor? I need you to lower the heat on the pan. Hey Gigi, do you want to lower the heat on the pan? Since you're a 5-pound cat with no thumbs? This is how we die, a pan that's smoking too much. Not the only time we say that tonight. Yes, please.
Be nicer to people.
Thank you, Pumpkin. You're the best. Yeah, you know. Pan was getting a little too smoky there. If any of you have had cast iron griddles, you know that you want to smoke it when you're seasoning it. But this isn't a cast iron griddle. It's just a Walmart griddle. It's lasted longer than I expected a Walmart griddle to last. And it's been phenomenal. I would not recommend it to most people, simply to the fact that it kind of bends a lot, which you don't want in a pan. But such is the life of my 360-pound life. Alright, this one's going to be a little small. Alright, so we get ourselves a butter glue stick and we coat the pan. Oh yeah. All right, so we got the pan coated with butter. Now we take, fit about 4-ish, maybe 5. I've done 5 once, but not with this method. So we got 4 patties on there, and we just let it cook. But we are not done prepping food. We got 4.5 pounds of potatoes, tiny potatoes. We're gonna turn them into home fries in butter because vegetable oil is cancer on society, and butter is delicious and actually healthier, even though it's higher calorie. Calories doesn't necessarily mean healthier because oils are bad for you. Butter is not. Butter is oil free. So we bust out our BFK, our big fucking knife, and anytime you use a knife, you gotta sharpen it. Most kitchen injuries are due to your knife not being sharp enough. So get a couple sharpens going, and we're good. These are Little Potato Company Dynamic Duo. I don't see Batman in here, so I don't know what you're talking about. So we're gonna cut them in half and short way, and then cut them in half long way, and then put them in this bowl. Yeah. In fact, this is 21 minutes long. Reason why I want to get a real camera. Alright, so I'm cutting up these potatoes. I cut a little bit of that out. And the burgers are going. I got a meat thermometer in the burgers. It's looking at about 160. So 135 would be about medium, but I don't feel safe reheating meat that's not fully cooked. So like reheating medium patties. So I like to go to like well, so it's cooked all the way through because you can't trust a microwave to cook anything. So I like to cut it off at around 160 degrees, and which is perfect for burgers for my wife. She always takes her burgers well done. I don't know why. They're always tastier not burnt, but can't live with them, can't live without them. So it's looking at about 160.
What?
So it's about time to call the wife over to have her cut open her burger, see if it's cooked enough for her, make sure it's actually dead. Yes.
Multiple times.
Once.
I heard what?
Once.
I heard what?
Do you want to check the burger?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know what you're talking about. Why is mine always smaller than yours? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's good. What do we have in for the side?
Oh, potato tots, which I always forget to cook.
It's okay. It's okay. Cook your burger. Cook your burgers.
The tater tots go in the oven.
Okay.
Do you want 2 pieces of cheese? How many?
Why do you always put a small burger in one piece?
I don't know.
Because I'm not hungry.
Alright. These burgers are ready to come off. Throw them in the microwave. Just kidding. And actually, take these burgers off too. And I'll bust out my bread knife. These are Asiago cheese rolls. Perfect for burgers because they're delicious. You don't want to burn yourself, but we're going to put these on our used pan that we use for our burgers. There we go. Here's a solid burger to bun ratio. And let those bad boys cook a little bit. The aluminum find it.
Looks like I'm not wearing pants. Give me a minute.
The wife did the wife thing. She found it. I do not admit defeat though. Make a full bag. Alexa, set a 35-minute tater tot timer.
Tater tot timer, 35 minutes, starting now.
Buns are still toasting. Almost done with our second bag of potatoes. A mass pain in the tuchus. Alright, I'm gonna take a little break to eat my burger because the burger buns are done. I don't have anything else to say, but I felt like I was leading myself off to say yes. Hello, all the burgers are done, which means we've got to start partitioning them into their containers. 8 containers. Here, the last couple spitting on the griddle right there. Eight containers, 16 burgers. Means 2 burgers per container. So 12 ounces approximately of burgers of beef per container. So put these bad boys. Now there's gonna be one container that only has 9. Actually, we got 8 burgers, 6. So divide 6 into 8. I can't mental math right now. 5 into 7. We have into 8. So that's probably about 8 ounces per. Alright, and we'll let those cool down a little bit. Alright, so we got this big bowl of potatoes. So we're going to salt them out, generous with the salt because there's a lot of potatoes. And then we're going to pepper them up, generous again with the pepper because there's a lot of potatoes. And then we're going to use oregano and basil to kind of give them a little bit of personality. I'm being quite liberal with the spicing because there's a lot of potatoes. Alright, next part is actually cooking them. So we got this deep dish frying pan, and we're gonna turn it on high just to get it hot. It's pretty thin so it cools up, but it heats up pretty fast. We're gonna put a whole stick of butter in. Whole stick of butter. Actually, we're gonna do 2 sticks of butter. I'm using the Challenge butter. I don't know what company that is. Probably just Challenge company. We're using 2 sticks of butter because there's a lot of potatoes. Have I mentioned that there's a lot of potatoes yet? Because there is. And I'm still not sharing them with the wife. Alright. 2 sticks of butter melting up in there. Got these tater tots I made for dinner. I'm gonna place them over here. I'm trying to wait for this butter to melt up. While we're waiting for that, we're gonna cut our rice. So we're gonna get a big boy pot like this, and we're gonna grab our rice. agitate our butter a little bit. And we take our rice strainer. If you remember from the hash browns video, rice strainer, probably underutilized instrument in the kitchen. I don't want this to be too violent. I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit. And we're gonna make 4 cups. We're gonna make 3 cups of rice. 1, 2, 3. And this is medium grain rice, so it's a bit stickier than regular rice. And our butter is almost fully melted. It's got little turds left. So we're gonna rinse this in cold water. All right. You rinse it in cold water because we don't want to start cooking it right away. All right, our butter for the potatoes is ready. Use a noodle spatula thingy, spoon. And we're going to, as to not splash ourselves with a lot of potatoes, I'm gonna put these in. And there we go. There's all of our potatoes. It's a bit much, but as they cook, they'll reduce in size because they'll be losing water. They won't retain as much water. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm going to add another stick of butter on top. This sounds a lot like a conversation I once had with Mindy Underwood, where she was explaining how to gain weight. And she was giving a bunch of recipes, and I was with Jean Rishlak at the time, and every single recipe, she was just like, all right, now every step, just add in a stick of butter. And then Jean was like, geez, butter sponsorship just for this recipe? And she was like, no, just how you gain weight. And I was like, okay. So, yes, the story finishes with Mindy saying, don't care whether or not your girlfriend has some nice big titties, because all you need to do to give her some nice big titties is to just feed her more butter and she'll grow those titties on her own. So that was a very impactful conversation that I had with Mindy Underwood. And I'm not doing that intentionally. My wife has nice boobies, but they're only for me. She throws hands like a felon. I've said that 2 or 3 times already. Alright, so we got 3 cups of rice, which means we need 6 cups of water, a ratio of 2 cups of water per cup of rice. Alright, I'm going to turn the rice burner to kind of a low. We're going to go low and then click up 1. And, geez, I'm using a lot of butter. I'm going to add a stick of butter to this. I mean, if this was one day of eating, it'd be a lot of butter, but it's a lot of butter to spread across a bunch of days. And most of it cooks off anyways. Alright. We add a little bit of lemon to break down the rice a little bit, keep it sticky, keep it fresh. Add a small sprinkle of imitation sugar, emphasis on sticky. And then we put the rice on. And we cover the rice. And now we wait. I forgot the eggs. So we're making them now. So what you want your eggs to be runny. Because when you microwave them, they cook a little bit. Because, like unborn children are just waiting to get birthed a little, like, they left the oven early and need a little bit more cooking. So like when you're cooking them, like cooking them, you gotta, and you're gonna freeze them, you gotta undercook them so they're runny, so that when you reheat them, they can maintain their moisture and cook a little bit more so that they don't turn into rubbery, inedible pieces of crap. So that's what we're doing. I got a wooden spoon for dealing with the eggs. I got my whisk for mixing up the eggs. So we're doing 6 eggs. And let's use a 6 stick of butter for this. I never knew I used so much butter. Now I know. So we're gonna butter glue stick our pan. It's already preheated. Alright, so it's a little too hot. And just like the Cooking with Patrick video, the exact same recipe, it's just we're doing 6 times. 4 times. Yeah. I'm gonna have my container ready because it's pretty hot. I don't want to overheat it. I don't want to overcook it. You know the deal. We got the cheddar jack, that ready. All right. All right, time for the jack. All right, it is still a little runny. Now we just rinse and repeat 3 more times. Running out of salt. This one's not as hot, so it's gonna be a little longer because we cooled the pan off with the other one. Still cooking pretty quick though. I'm gonna get this one ready. Ready for the cheddar jack. So cheddar cheese is high in protein, but it's actually low in lactose. It's got such low lactose content that it's almost lactose free. It's still got some lactose in it, but if you're lactose sensitive, cheddar cheese is the way to go if you still love your cheese like every white person. I love cheese. Stir the potatoes because there's a lot of potatoes. Here's the last little bit of eggs. Here's the last little bit of my salt. There's all the eggs. Only took 18 minutes. Now we gotta stir the potatoes. Get a little mushy. And let those bad boys go for a little bit. And we're gonna pull the rice back to our primary. Going good. So we got 10-ounce beef, half-pound potato, 10-ounce beef, half-pound potato, 6 eggs, and 2 cups rice. And we got 4 of these stacks for 4 days. Mina! Come baddies! Come baddies! It's time to go baddies. Wake up so you can go baddies. Come on. Time to go baddies. Come on. Let's go baddies. Come on. Come on. Let's go baddies. Come on. You know, if you like, comment, subscribe, and shared, my cat would probably come baddies with me.